agents of the unexplained. Grab your gear and let's journey into the mysterious world of cryptids and the paranormal. Get ready for an adventure into the unknown. Listen carefully as you are guided through the unexplained and cryptid phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. Here is your host, Bill Rigby.
Well, hello, everyone. Give an update on Fred Saluga. This one's hard. He has slipped into a coma. They upped his medication to keep him comfortable. So, yeah, the end's almost here. A lot of people heard me recently talk about, how we always talked on the phone and stuff. I know I'm not the only one he talked to a lot on the phone. And so many people he has helped in the Bigfoot, paranormal, and UFO fields. And hey, Griff, so his time is very short here. And I feel so bad for his daughter. She is going through so much being there with them. And it's been hard on me. And I'm not going to lie, it's been real hard on me. But I need everyone to say a prayer for him. And a prayer for Leah dealing with this and dealing the aftermath of it. He meant so much to me. So, yeah, this one's hard. And we knew it's a matter of time with him because his age and his health and all that. But that crazy SOB, he made a commitment to be at Christine's event. He was going to be there. As sick as he was, he went and he participated. He left there and went straight to the hospital. Talk about a man that keeps his commitment. And I know all about keeping commitment because I ended up in the hospital after Marionville a couple years ago. Right, Griff? He kept his word to it. He's going to be there. He's going to do it. And actually, the last time I saw him was at the end of September up in Johnstown. He got there to a Sonic Temple. I went out and met him, helped bring his stuff in, get him set up at his table. And he was in heaven. All these people coming up talking to him and buying his books, and he was just something. He was in his glory with that, and he got to talk about the things he loved. UFOs, the cryptid. He was in his glory, and I am so glad I had him sit next to me so I could see that. I'm sorry, folks. I'm getting choked up here. He has done so much for so many people. And I turned him on to some things that needed investigated that was far more than I could deal with. And he traveled up from West Virginia, clean up to Jamestown, not that long ago, to do the investigation. God bless him. I'm so proud that he was able to. And he called me as he was leaving there. He fill me in on everything. And he says, if you want to write up a report, I says, no, that one's on you, bud. That's all yours. I turned it over to you. It's yours. I appreciate you filling me in. That's all. I'm going to miss our talks. I'm going to miss those the most. I ain't lying. It's, we talked a lot on the phone, checking on A. I call and check on him, discuss what else is going on, and get a kick out of some of the stuff he told me. Some of that stuff was a trip. I'm telling you right now, some of that stuff was a trip. I keep joking he's going to shoot himself in his leg. And that was because he carried that little Derringer around in his pocket all the time. He didn't care. He pulled it out anywhere. He'd say, here, look. It's like, Fred, jeez. Yeah. Hey, he had the permit to carry it. But, he was rough and gruff. He told you how it was. And like I told Leah, he got mad at me the one time because I said something the wrong way to him. He took it the way it sounded, and it wasn't what I meant. We talked about 4 days later. He goes, "Oh, I'm not still mad at you." First thing he said. I said, "Fred, I do got to apologize because that's not how I meant it." And I explained to him. You're right, Griff. You're right. Oh, my God. I was being nice. But anyhow. So, yeah, let me get back to it. He had some really close friends. Brian Seach. I know Brian's going to miss him a lot. Chuck and Sarah Knight. It's hitting Sarah real hard right now. So I keep making myself laugh too, Griff. Thanks. Got to remember the memories. When I went down to the Jefferson Volunteer Fire Company the very first time, me and my buddy Gary went down. And Gary was always looking for books. Always looking for books. And I got to get one of Fred's books for him. I do. But Fred was filling in because someone was supposed to show up and they canceled. I mentioned the guy's name because he's not but a drama queen. But anyhow, the thing is that Fred was going to do the talk. Fred gets there. Now, it's a little bit of a drive for him. He gets there. He remembers he forgot the flash drive. Well, before that event, Fred told me, always carry a flash drive with you. Always, in case you got to fill in. So I did have one with me. Man, Fred, I said, so you're covering for so-and-so? He says, yeah, but I forgot my flash drive. I said, after you told me to always carry one with me. He goes, did you? I went, yeah. He says, you want to speak? I says, if you want me to, I'll cover for you. I don't care. And that's what happened there. He let me cover for him. Yeah. Bill and Fred together, grumpy old men. Yep. But we had some shirts made up called Bigfoot Mafia. And we called Fred the Dawn. And he was the Dawn of us, of the crew. All of us loved him. All of us. And actually, I got a picture of him and Tony LeBorn standing in the hallway down there at Butler. And I went, the Dawn and the Hitman. But yeah, we remember these things and the good times. And that's what we need to do. Yeah, it's bad right now. This is hurting really bad right now. And I know how bad it's hurting me, how bad it's hurting Sarah Knight, Tony LeVray. Tony and Fred got real close too. But we got to remember his daughter's hurting worse. But she is being so strong through this all. God bless her. I pray that she keeps staying strong. But like she told me this morning, whenever all the dust settles, she knows she's going to break down. And I told her she could always call me and cry on my shoulders. Always. And I'm very proud of Leah. I really am. How she's dealing with this all and being so strong to get through that. She's gone through a lot personally and emotionally, and I'm just glad she got close with her dad. They both needed it. Fred's ex and Leah's mom kept them separated, which was totally wrong. But Fred would never badmouth his ex in front of her, ever. So Fred's that tell you what kind of guy he is. He has some integrity there. And my first podcast in January is going to be dedicated to Fred, so everyone knows. I'm definitely going to have him dedicated to him. And I'm going to try to get a couple people on that for that reason. And I think that it's needed. I don't know, now that he's in the coma, we know he's not going to come back out of it. I wish he would be here. He'd be up above, staring down at me, and listening to the podcast, critiquing it, like he did my presentations and my podcast. Well, you should have said it like this. Okay, yeah, you're right, Fred. Yeah, he was very good at pointing the small stuff out too. He was a guy that knew the way it should be said and the way it should be handled, and the whole 9 yards. Jesus Christ, he had coffee with Ted Bundy every morning in prison as a prison guard. He sat there and bullshit with Ted Bundy and carried on a decent conversation. And Fred told me, Ted asked, how come you doing this? He says, why not? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Yeah, you killed those ladies. We know that. you're found guilty of it. Am I going to hold all that against you and not talk to you? He says, I'm not that type of person. And he wasn't. He was not that type of person. Yeah, he'll get pissed off at somebody. He won't speak to him for a little while, like he did me. But 4 days later, he did call me and says, yeah, I'm still mad, but we're still friends. And I go, well, I'm sorry. I said it the wrong way, and you took it the way I said it, and it was all wrong. I apologize. And that was the only time we ever had a disagreement. And that hurt me. That really hurt me. I did not want Fred pissed off at me. And taught me a lesson, make sure I say it the right way to him. you know, the thing is that he expected things to be done a certain way too. And the way that is, when you take a report, do it right. Take down all the information. Pay attention to what these people are saying. Take care of that. Listen to what they're saying. Val, how you doing? Happy holidays to you, hon. It's good seeing you out here, too. Tell the better half, he better get his butt out here, too. And he told me always, and he's not the only one, there were several other ones. Think outside the box. Study what you're looking at. Deduct everything. Jamie King was a one for that. Jamie kept saying, think outside the box. Think outside. Yeah, I did. I always did anyhow. Because you don't know what you're looking at. But let me go here. And people already know what I think Bigfoot is. I think from what I saw and the actions and how it moved and everything's flesh and blood. Okay, I'll go with that. Fred, interdimensional. First he was flesh and blood, but now he's interdimensional because of the tracks that just disappear. All right, where'd they go? A good friend of mine, he's living in Florida now. He's from Eastern PA. He seen one, he don't know if it cloaked or went through a portal as he's coming down the road. And I told Fred all about it. Fred went interdimensional, definitely. That's what they are. I says, well, I believe they're flesh and blood. And he goes, how do you know? I said, I believe. He says, that's right. That's the right way to say it. And I said, they possibly can be interdimensional. He says, I believe some of them are and some aren't. Okay. If that's what you're saying, I can go along with that. And I believe that's a possibility. So you got to keep an open mind. And he made sure I kept an open mind. Well, that one day, I was going to be speaking at an event and had all these different researchers there. And I go to Fred, I says, I feel honored to be amongst these guys speaking. He goes, why? Because of who they are. He says, they should be honored to be with you. What? I'm nobody. Not a single one of them ever had a sighting. You had a Class A sighting. up close and personal. They should be honored to be speaking with you. That made me feel good. That really did. But I was still in awe of those guys. Like seeing a celebrity. So I was in awe with that. And I was in awe when Fred gave his talks. I listened to everything he had to say. He put it out there great. He knew how to talk about the stuff on his presentations. I'm telling you, we will miss that big time. But anyhow, I've been going on for 21 minutes now. I got things to get done. I got to keep a grip. But please keep Fred and Leah in your prayers. This is a real rough time. One of the greats are moving on. But I bet you he gets all the answers where he's going. I bet you. I really believe he is. He's going to get all the answers. Yeah. Especially when he stepped through the pearly gates. And I just hope you don't argue with Jesus. It's like this. This is how it really is. No, I'm joking. Here's how I believe it is. No, that would be me when I pass on. But anyhow, you guys stay warm. No slipping and sliding and Griff. The key word that what happened with you today was no, I'm not going nowhere. Glad you're not stuck anymore. But anyhow, I will talk to you all later. I'm glad to see you all out here. You all have a great evening. Stay warm, stay dry. And I'll be talking to you all soon. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to the Agents of the Unexplained. Please visit our website at agentsoftheunexplained.net for unique paranormal merchandise like t-shirts, books, and coffee mugs. Join our Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more thrilling content. Until next time, keep questioning the unexplainable.